right? And G for group means group. I want to add to this group the permission to read or write or execute. Or I can, for example, I have to prevent this user, this group of, we do minus to prevent the user, for example, from write or read or execute. And we can use another thing is decimal format. And what means that decimal format is in binary we have, for example, read, write, execute. And here we have 1, 1, and 1. So if we want to write this in decimal, how we achieve that? How do we achieve that? We achieve that via 1 multiply power, and then from here I count to 1, 0, 1, 2. Then multiply 2 power, sorry, 2. This 2 here is the index of this one. So this one, its index is 0, this number is, its index is 1, and this index is 2. Then plus 1, this number multiply 2 power, and this index, the index of this number is 1, plus 1 multiply 2 power, and the index of this is 0. So we start from the right to the left. We start by 0, then every time we increment by 1. So the first index is 0, 0. So if we try to calculate this, it's equal to 7. So if I want user to have 7, have the right the permission to write, to read, to execute, I have to give him 7, but only for the owner. But if I want the same for the group and all, so I have to give them 7 and then 7. Here in our case we want only the user to be allowed to read, to have the permission to read this file. For that, to have the read, so here I have to give it 1, 0, 0, means that 1 multiply 2, right, power 2, then plus 0 multiply power 1, etc. Then we have only 4. So here we'll have, instead of 7, we'll have 4. And the other one we want no permission to have, so it means they will have 0, 0, 0, 0, means equal the, when we will use this operation in decimal, which will be 0. So for group, I want them to have 0, 0. So chmod 400, then the name of the file. So if we try now to list that, to see the permission, I have only the permission of reading for the user. Then we will type ssh-i, the name of the file, and then the user, and then the IP address, our Ansible. That is this one. I have to paste it here, then I hit enter, say yes, and then it works now. So now if I try to ping an instance, for example this instance, it will work. Sorry. Yes, it did not work. Why? Because I have not added the peering connection in the row table of the subnet of this account. So let me come here back to VPC, and then here I will add role, and here I will say if any traffic that goes to this IP address, I have to go to the peering connection, then save the changes. And the same thing for the private row tables, and here call it 7.24.16. Go to the peering connection, and then I will save the change. So now if I come back here and try to ping, the ping work. Nice. And if I try now to access from this instance and try to ping our Ansible server, the ping work. So everything works as we expected. Next thing that we are going to do is to create a user in our domain controllers. But first, let me explain you what is a domain controller, what is an Active Directory, and why the Active Directory comes, and what is the solution that comes with it, and what is the issue that is the Active Directory solved for us. For that, I will give you a scenario, as usual, to illustrate and explain you very well, and you will understand what I'm saying. Imagine that there is a company. Right? This is a company, and we have many offices. Assume that there are 3 offices, and in that offices there are, for example, 5 or 10, just an estimated number, but in reality there are hundreds of computers. But in just example, I will just to illustrate you what I mean by an Active Directory. So this is our first laptop, second, right? Lab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second, third, and the fourth, the fifth. Right. So each user has its own account, so it has own username and password. So for example, this is our Windows machine. We have user, call it Abdulali, and the password 123456789, right? So this machine has its own local database where these credentials are stored. So once you want to log in, then this laptop will go and look in its database, local database, and look for this user. So if it exists, then it will log in you to that laptop. But what if we have 20 laptops? So we have to go individually